Welcome back to the Sioux City Show. My name is Taylor Grote. I'm hosting this thing in the studio with me today. I got the boy Nasty.
Nice to meet y'all. Nice to meet y'all.
Before we forget, let's get it out of the way. Where can people find you on the internet?
Well, y'all can find me on Instagram. We got YouTube. We also got Twitter that's lacking a little bit, but everything's under like NastyCo. So, just type in NastyCo anywhere and you'll see me. All
right. You got an event coming up, right?
Yeah, I do actually. First event we ever put together, I was like, I'm over here pretty young, in the industry, seeing everybody make the moves in their game. So I thought I might as well, put my chips in too, So
what's the event? Tell me about it.
So the event is called Let It Snow by NastyCo. Okay. A little jingle to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So with this event, we're trying to get some local artists out here. And these artists that I have on my set, I already seen them kind of like perform and see how they do with crowds and like how the audience reacts to them. Mm-hmm. So I thought I might as well like put them all together and make one like mega show that I thought would be badass,
Yeah. So who are the artists?
So we got to go ahead and list them all off.
And you don't got to worry about the mic or the camera. You can.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So to list them all off, we got Jose the MC. We're gonna start off with Jose the MC. We got Geri Dobbs. We got Young Rambo. We also got Self. See No Bankin and Johnny Marz. And then we also got a rock band named New Age Crisis.
I thought Johnny Marz was like, oh wait, never mind, he switched to Johnny Marz. He used to be Sioux Kid. Yeah, never mind. And the band too?
Yeah, the band's New Age Crisis.
New Age Crisis, okay.
Yeah.
They're from Sioux City as well?
Yeah, or I think they play around like Lamar's, Sioux City, but I think they originate kind of Sioux City. Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, you got, C-Note's a big name. C-Note's
man, all these artists, I'm telling you, all these artists go fire. Like, I wouldn't put them on the stage if I didn't believe in them myself,
Right.
Like, each one individually has their own talent, and, like, I kind of, like, try to group them together to kind of, like, make the melodies float a little bit,
Yeah.
And, I mean, it's going to be a badass show, man, to be honest with you. Like, that's going to be, like, the one,
So where'd you say it was going to happen?
It's going to be at Whiskey Dicks. Y'all can catch us down there. It's going to be December 18th. It's going to start at 8:30.
Bro, I like shows at Whiskey Dick so much, but I wish that they'd put like $150 into making their stage better. Like for whatever reason, it's just like,
what you mean.
Fuck it. It's basically been there.
One big thing that I did notice about Whiskey Dicks is that I will be like renting some lights out to try to like make the stage pop a little bit more, because when I am a mixed media kind of artist, so I do photography on the side as well. And whenever I was like taking photos at Whiskey Dicks, it is kind of hard to like get a good photo because of the lighting.
Every time somebody's ever asked me to take photos at Whiskey Dicks, I've said no.
Yeah.
Because I just I'm not gonna stand here for a couple hours, waste my time taking shitty photographs because the lighting's trash.
Exactly, and that's why we got to like change that up. Mm-hmm. And one time I was even I had a show out there, and it was for a guy named Pashut. You ever met Pashut? Is a local. Or not a local. He's actually he's all over the world. Actually, he's he's in like Pakistan and shit like that too.
Oh damn!
I don't want to like misrepresent his name or anything, but really cool artist. And he hired me to do a documentary for him out in Whiskey Dicks. Mm-hmm. And when I was recording him, I was like, I had that idea of like, damn, that light's gonna be like fucked up. So I rented some lights, and like they told me like, yeah, those are some badass, like that was a badass idea because we really are lacking on that light, Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So,
like, what kind of camera do you shoot with? Sony?
Myself? Yeah, Sony A7 III.
Okay, so at least you got some low light capabilities then.
Yeah.
That's like I'm a Canon guy myself, but the only time I've ever been like maybe I should go to Sony is when I do 2 or 3 real shitty light concerts or something in a row, and I'm like, I really wish I could just film at 6400 and not care. But
the last show we shot at Whiskey Dicks was Bone Crusher.
Yeah,
that was lit as fuck too.
Yeah,
that was pretty badass. So.
I was gonna go to that show. It
was really cool.
I didn't even pay attention.
That's a definitely OG shout out, Bone Crusher. Oh, shout out on some shout out stuff real quick if you could. Shout out, rest in peace, Virgil Abloh. Definitely, man, that one hit hard, like for real, like, damn.
Right, and a lot of people look around and don't realize, like, oh, Virgil Abloh. Did you? I don't know if you paid attention to the comments on that day, and it was a lot of the unhappiest motherfuckers with their lives for some reason comment on that shit, and they're like, really? Who? Why should I care about this guy? I don't care who that is. And it's like, I don't know. Look around at fashion and tell me do you see something? Do you see it looks different than it looked 20 years ago? That's because of Virgil Abloh.
Right.
You know, is Virgil Abloh and Kanye redefined streetwear.
Even if like you don't know who the person is and everything, and like you see some people are like putting respect on his name, you shouldn't go like wild out and be like, who? You know, and like put some attitude behind that, you know?
When the House of Louis Vuitton says that he's one of the greats.
Yeah.
It's official. When a dude from the south side of Chicago is being recognized by the House of Louis Vuitton as one of the greatest designers of the generation.
Yeah. See, after Virgil died, I was like, yeah, I can get anybody. I can get anybody, man.
Right?
You know?
Yeah, and I'm how old are you? You're young, right?
I'm 21, actually.
Okay, yeah. So I'm 31.
Okay.
10 years older than you. And I've had like a few of those at this point in my life where it was Mac Miller,
right,
Prince, Michael Jackson, like the
all
greats,
legends.
The people, and especially like Prince and, you know, Michael Jackson was wild for a long time, but Prince was like a legend who nobody thought was maybe getting close to dying. So it just kind of went from like a world with Prince in it to a world without Prince in it, and it's suddenly a lot less musical, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your shout outs with cutting you off after Virgil, but
well, do you feel like because I saw like Kanye talk about it, and he was saying that there's not another like Steve Jobs, there's not another Kanye, you know, there's not another Virgil yet. So like, do you think we're losing like those masterminds, those like really creative minds, or like do you think we're like there's new people coming of age?
I think that there's always ones on the come up. Like I think that I've said it on this podcast before, but I think that Toby Wigway from Houston is like redefining what rap and rap music videos and rap culture really is. I think that Cole Bennett redefined what the like music video is really for, you know, he basically created, I want to say he created the whole genre of like the SoundCloud rapper music video look.
Right.
Yeah. And or Lyrical Lemonade in general. And let's see, maybe, so we got Toby, Cole Bennett. I mean, there's always dudes on the come.
You know, on those like music videos, I remember back then, like, you know, when I was a lot younger, and like maybe I'm mistaken, but music videos used to be like really like kind of thought out, you know, like it used to be like some big like budget kind of like videos, you know?
Well, I think it was a lot of the like reason for it being so thought out is because it's so cost prohibitive.
Yeah,
you know, prior to like 2000, I don't think people were really shooting on digital. Like, you know, when you got a roll of 35 millimeter film and you get depending on the roll of film you're using, you're either getting 3 minutes or 11 minutes out of a roll of film, and you're paying $1,000 or whatever per roll to get it developed. Like suddenly you got to do a lot more planning with that music video, and with when you're using film, then you have to have professional lighting, you have to have gaffers, you have to have DPs. Yeah. So it changes it now that we have like the affordability of being able to spend. I mean, shit, you can do a music video for less than $1,000 buying your own camera to start. Like, you don't even have to do it.
So, like, with your company, how do you start going about, like, a music video? Like, let's say a client comes to you right away, and then they're like, you know, this is what I'm thinking.
I've, like, always listened to music in terms of music videos. Like, I've always listened to tracks and gone, this would be a dope music video for this track. And, you know, and I was kind of like, I was raised in the TRL generation where we came home from school and turned on MTV, and TRL was showing you the top 10 music videos in the country. So I was like, I want to make that. And I also wanted to work with a camera for a living. And it was like when I was getting my start into the camera world, what's something I can do to build my reel? Well, my little sister's in a band, might as well start making music videos for them. I know a bunch of rappers, might as well make music videos for them. Right. So that was like, I just made music videos to start shopping around my work, really. Yeah. So, I mean, but like really I listen to songs, and I mean, I got a few people that I go, or like a few YouTube rabbit holes that I go down to look for like music video ideas. I really like what they're doing in UK with the grime music videos, like Stormzy. Yeah, Stormzy, Skepta. I like ASAP Mob. They got a creative house, this AWGE. They do a great job. I watch some Cole Bennett stuff, but like, I feel like he's got such a defined style that is Lyrical Lemonade that I don't want to rip off Lyrical Lemonade.
It's hard.
Right?
That's hard because the more you see, the more like creative mindset you're like flowing. But yeah, you don't want to like take their idea or anything like that.
Yeah, and it even gets to the point where sometimes like artists will say, I like this music video, do this in my music video. Right. And I have to say, that's a Cole Bennett music video, or that's an Austin Vesely music video. I don't want to rip off those guys. I'll do something for you, but it ain't gonna be exactly that because I know who did that.
Yeah, I mean, I like that too. And then, do you ever have like clients, like whenever I'm like doing some like photos for somebody or something, there is like, you know, it'll be like maybe like 1 out of 10 that people coming to me and being like, you know what, I kind of don't like all the stuff you're putting on the photo. I'm just like, you know, it's kind of like, you're paying me for my creative genius. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, you're looking at different types of clients, really.
I guess that's
is
true.
What it comes down to. Because I mean, you're, and I'm saying you like as in the metaphorical you, not you personally.
Definitely.
But when you are starting out and you're trying to like get more work, build your base of people you work with so you can stop taking every job that comes your way and get a little bit more selective with your work.
Right.
You start to realize pretty quickly who are the type of clients you want to work with and who are the type of clients that you want to stay away from. And I'm kind of at the point now where I'll just tell people if they come really sideways at me right away in a DM on Instagram and they're like, yo, shoot this video for me, my budget's this, and I need you to do it by next week. I'm like, no, I'm not. I don't have. What am I gonna do?
It's unrealistic.
You know, jump through hoops for you. I don't know. And you wanted me to do something for you, and do you want me to quote you my real price on that, or do you want me to give you the artist music video price? Because those are two different things. What I'm gonna charge a business asking me to come in and shoot for a day versus what I'm charging like one of my homies to come in and shoot for a day are completely different prices with different zeros on them. You know, so yeah, I just like stay away from all the like real negative stuff, and I've kind of established myself to the point now where I do what I do.
Yeah.
If you want that, hire me. If you don't want that, you want what Nasty does, hire Nasty. If you want what Kessel does, hire Kessel. If you want Britton Hack to do something, hire him. You know, it's like
there's a certain point where I was even like telling clients, you know, like this is what I do. This is my style of like art. This is what you'll get. You know, expect this. And if you don't like this, you know, I also know that this guy over here makes music videos and like just like spreading like, you know, the clientele. I know a lot of people don't do that because, you know, you're supposed to keep like the business within the business. But in my head, I'm just like, if you want to rock with me, you're going to come through anyways. If not, then, you know, there's somebody else in the market and like, let me help you get to that point, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I've pushed tens of thousands of dollars work to other creators in town at this point. I don't need every job that comes my way. And go ahead.
Oh, sorry. With that, like, how like, you know, building that community of like everybody supporting each other and like like how you said you gave away those jobs and like you gave people those like kind of like small blessings, you know, like here's a little job for you to get some money out of it. But like, I guess that's a like really rare entity in Sioux City. I guess like a lot of people would say that in order to make yourself established, you would have to move out of Sioux City because the city is not like that welcoming or like not that supportive people, you know?
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Well, I think it's something. People who say that, people who are like, "Oh, Sioux City is dog shit. They don't support local. Right. They don't support their own. They don't. You know, everybody is dog eat dog. Everybody stabs each other in the back." Yeah. You know, my first question is always like, "What are you doing to do that differently? What are you doing to redefine what it is?" And I kind of look at right now, especially, you know, throughout time. When I first started doing videos and photos in Sioux City, it was like right when social media content really became a thing. So I was kind of like at the top of the class, age-wise and like experience-wise, getting into the social media game in Sioux City. I was one of the first guys to like really start doing it. I'm the first guy, I think, as a career to say like, this is what I do. I make content for social media. So probably 2014, 2015 is when I started. So what, 6-7 years ago now. And So I get into it and I immediately like kind of locked down a few bigger clients. I started working at a bigger agency. And then, you know, I was still struggling, still grinding through probably to 2018. And then that's when I kind of went, I got to book a business that I can live with. I got big clients that pay all my bills. And then I started like redefining what I do is, you know, do I want to just do music videos? Do I just want to do business content? And I ended up settling on like I just have a few big business clients now that I do all their work for them. And then I got a batch of artists that I work with for music videos that I want to like, I don't do those for money. I do those for just doing something creative and switching up. Yeah. Maybe teaching myself a new skill that I might use for a business later on, whatever the case it may be. And like really to just promote Sioux City as a whole. You know, I think that there's so many artists here who are completely slept on like a national scale that, you know, when you start looking at your top 5 MCs, you start going, what's the difference between this dude who I really like in Sioux City and the dude who's #1 on Billboard right now. There's not much difference. Yeah.
Marketing, man.
Yeah, it's marketing budgets. It's the clean, it's the polish, it's the look of everything that they're putting on social. It's the consistency of what they're putting out. It's all that thing. So I started realizing like the difference between the artists I love here and the artists that I love on a national scale that are the same quality and the same, type of skill level was the difference in marketing budget and the difference in being able to put out professional photo shoots and video shoots. And I was like, I'll just do that for you guys for 1/50th of what they're actually, charging in LA, charging in New York City, and we'll just like build a base here. So, there's been some positive results. You had Psychedelic go on tour with R.A. the Rugged Man all last summer. So
that was lit as fuck too.
Yeah.
You definitely have like set the paveway for like creators like myself to even like get our little footing within the music videos here in Sioux City,
Yeah.
Like I definitely have seen that, and all respects to you, because when I came into the game, I came to you for an internship. And that's how I met you in the first place, So like, yeah, I definitely will say you were one of the like big players in the game, if not the only player in the game, how you said.
Yeah.
So like building off that, like in my whole life, everybody that I have ever seen do something in our field that has done it full time, like I pay respect to that, And I guess it's about the way you go about it too. But when I was in Texas, in Dallas, I saw somebody actually do this full time and like have their studio, and it was like badass, and I was just like, damn. I took it all in. I was like, I want to do this for sure,
Yeah.
Like, this is the kind of life I want to have. And ever since I saw that, I was like, this shit's actually possible. So when I came back here, it was like, let me try to get that love from the city. And if I can't even do it here, then how do I expect myself to do anywhere else,
Right.
So it's just been like an upward climb, trying to like get my name out there, taking little hits, from like the negativity. But then I'm just like, if I keep grinding, if I keep pulling myself, pushing myself, never like quitting on myself, then everybody who tells me that I can't make it will see,
Yeah.
And it's all about consistency. I think like that's the biggest thing about like success, is that you stay with something, it'll eventually give in.
Whether it's in the creative world or strictly in the business world, we're both in the business of creative, right? But I think the difference between somebody who made it and somebody who didn't, and somebody who had to go find something else, is just doing it. It's just a matter of fucking doing it. And,
Exactly.
And like, you mentioned that there's been like negativity. Like, yeah, that's like step one. And especially like there's going to be negativity when you start out because your shit isn't like as polished as it should be.
Right.
And then there's going to be negativity when you start getting attention because like there's a certain percentage of the population that are just crabs in a bucket and don't want to see you succeed.
It's so weird that like in this field you have to kind of like base your success off of like how people see you.
Yeah.
Like you can have all the money in the world and you can say you're successful, but unless somebody acknowledges that you're like that success, you kind of don't feel that like accomplishment,
Right.
So that's such a weird feeling to like rely on someone's feelings. Cause I've been trying to like in my life not give a fuck, like straight up, like all these negative side things, like that's always gonna be there in life. So it's like you have to double up, in the word of Nipsey's REUP, but you have to like really hold yourself up and see what kind of man you want to be in this world. And if you can't even tell yourself that, then it's shit,
Yeah.
Ain't nobody gonna tell you anything.
Right. And it's there's really levels to all this, and especially the not giving a shit what anybody thinks of you game. Because like when you're starting out, you have to present a professional image.
Exactly.
And I played that whole game forever. Like, okay, I got to post every day on Instagram. I got to grow my Instagram. I got to have over 5,000 followers, and then I can start, I'll look legit, all that kind of shit. And I did that, and I didn't give a shit. When at one point, I think I had like 13,000 followers on Instagram or something.
Oh, okay.
And what? For what? So I impressed people that I didn't know, that I've never met, they're never gonna meet me, that are never gonna talk to me.
Exactly.
Like, and that's like at the best case scenarios, I just invented or impressed some faceless people who I don't give a shit about, and not don't give a shit about like in the negative way, but just like I don't know them. Like
general,
they're not
like being alive.
A like on social media is, what does that do?
Right.
I look around and it doesn't change anything about me. I could put a post out that gets me 10,000 likes right now, and it's like, it doesn't do anything. I'm still sitting here. I'm still the same guy. So that's like at the best case scenario is that I'm impressing people. Worst case scenario, I'm putting shit out there like make somebody else feel bad about themselves because I might be misrepresenting the way that my life really is, and they're like looking at me going, oh, well, I've been in this for 8 years and he's way ahead of me now. He's doing better work. He's working with doper clients, and it's like I'm not, I am sometimes working with doper clients. Other times I'm not doing shit, So it's I just
no, man. Like I'm gonna just be straight up. Like I definitely have felt that feeling, not about you, but like of somebody like getting that client and you're just like, fuck, like, damn, I wish I got that client too. But the thing that I have heard throughout my life is that you can't compare yourself to anybody because you guys are in separate lanes. Your whole like life is going at completely different motions, at completely different waves. So it's like you're comparing yourself to a picture that's not even painted the same way you are. Yeah. So like you're not gonna get anywhere in that race,
Right. Comparison is the thief of joy. And that is, the older I get, the more I realize that is absolutely the truth. And I probably, outside of like resharing stuff that people shared on social media that I made, I probably haven't posted on social media since June, May, maybe. Yeah. So I just like off it now because I just hate it as a concept so fucking much. I hate it. Like, I think that social media is maybe the worst thing. Like swear to God, maybe it's the worst thing.
I know what you mean.
You remember? So you were born. You're 21. It's a little bit tougher to have this conversation because you don't have like a life pre-social media in the same way that somebody is my age does.
Yeah.
But 10 years ago, we'll just go to smartphones really became culturally popular in 2010. Before that, there wasn't all of this bullshit like anxiety and tension around people because they saw something that, my uncle posted something fucked up on Facebook 3 weeks ago, and now my cousin who disagrees with him politically is going to scream at him at Thanksgiving. And it's like, there was none of that shit.
Yeah.
It was like everybody and people had opinions that you really fucking disagreed with, and you didn't have anything to say. You're just like, oh, word, that person is wild. Yeah, that's my buddy who always says that crazy shit. And that was like kind of the extent of it. And now it's like you're supposed to be picking these sides. There's always supposed to be these little fights going on between everybody. And like even if they're not outward, like you're still holding resentment against them. So I just decided that social media doesn't matter. Like I'm just trying to stay off it. I don't even like go on there and scroll anymore. So
yeah, I try to be the same way, but I feel like my life kind of revolves around like at least recently around like trying to build the brand Nasty Collective. So I feel like a lot of my work is online, so I always feel like I kind of have to be on the social media, especially with the show now, like promoting it and like pushing it out. But I do definitely feel like the side effects of like, damn, like I'm on my phone again. And instead of like really focusing on what's going on in life, I'm kind of like in this cyber world, you know, where like I'm waiting on people. And like I even posted my photos one time on Reddit, and that was the worst fucking thing I ever fucking done. Yeah. Like definitely, man, they chewed me up. And I was like, fuck, dude. I felt like damn, I got to go back to the roots on my photos, But at the end of the day, those guys don't shoot the same way I shoot, They're not looking at it the same way I am. Yeah. And like I feel like I got some recognition from like some pretty big people. Like I guess like Waka Flocka, he didn't repost he didn't shout me out or nothing. But
he just stole your shit?
Yeah, he just stole my shit.
Yeah.
But it's cool. But like at least he fucked with the photo itself. So in like that sense, I'm just kind of like, okay, maybe I could like refine my skills, obviously, but I think I'm going on the right path, Yeah. And like no, there's no room for that on the social media. They'll tell you straight up the worst like negative thought that they have and like just post it out there. Right. But I also heard, sorry not to cut you off, but I also heard that like these are conversations that you're not supposed to be a part of. Like these are like behind your back conversations that they're just supposed to like go in the wind and you're taking it to heart. And
like, who cares? Right. You know what I'm saying? Oh, this one guy on the internet who I don't know hates my shit. It's like, right. Okay. And I have a photo that I sold probably 10 prints of like for $50 a piece. So I made some money off of it. And I posted that on Reddit as well, and I just got flamed. It was like, oh, you got all these hot pixels in here. This is overexposed. And it's like,
yeah, you can't win.
Word, man. Okay.
Can't win.
I sold it. So, it's like, what are you doing? The guy who comments on Reddit photos. Yeah. Is that your deal? That's your claim to fame is that you comment on Reddit photos? Like, okay, I don't really care.
And I even have like people who like there's one guy that told me one time that like, oh, I hope your business fails. I hope it burns. And I never say that, you know?
Yeah.
And that's the kind of person that I'm just like, man, just wait. When I saved that text message. So just wait when I blow the fuck up. I'm going to post that shit right next to like a stack of hundreds and then we'll see.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Right.
And then we'll really be at it.
That is the name of the game really, is that like, and the people I found, there's haters and there's creators.
Yeah.
People who create I don't have time to like go talk shit on somebody else's video. I got opinions about videos I don't like or photos I don't like or whose style I don't like.
Which is cool.
But yeah, that means is that I don't do that. You know, it's not that I have a big problem with it. And you were mentioning Waka reposting yourself without credit. So I'm not going to put anybody on blast here, so I'm going to keep it vague. But I sit on a marketing board for like a pretty big entity.
Okay.
That was receiving proposals for marketing from a few big agencies around the country.
Yeah.
And one of the fucking agencies sent in a proposal that used like 5 of my photos without crediting me. So I'm sitting on the board that's supposed to be approving these proposals. And I got this one and I open it up and I was like, these are my photos right on the cover. And then open it and I was like, this one's mine too. You know, so I just like told everybody in the meeting, and I'm the youngest dude by 15 years there. And I was
shit.
Just I hope this doesn't step on anybody's toes, but absolutely not to this one that stole my photos and then passed it off like it was their work and the proposal that they sent to us. Like, I'm not going to play this game. So there's Waka Flocka stealing your shit so you don't get a few followers. And then there's like a company trying to steal my shit to get $50,000 a year. And I was like, okay.
That sucks because then it's like, whenever you're trying to correct that, you're the asshole. You know what I mean? They look at you and they're like, what the fuck? Like, what's this guy tripping about? You know, like, it's just some photos. But
he put his photos on the internet.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, like, you worked for them photos. And even if you took that photo and then just straight uploaded it, that shit's still yours. You know what I mean? They still got to respect the fact that, like, that's your photo, you know? Yeah. So it's like, I hate when motherfuckers be taking my photos like that too. But, I mean, in my case, it was just like, I'm the underdog, kind of. So it's like, I'm shooting upwards. And it's like I'm yelling in a void where like nobody cares. Yep. So I kind of just like embrace it that like, oh shit, like Waka Flocka did that.
I found that the best way to get that like the momentum when you're starting out is to just keep doing it and like just keep making the shit. You know, keep screaming into the void, keep releasing your shit into the void, and eventually one of them is gonna click. Right, you know, for like the credits that people know me for. For every one that people know me for, there's 25 before that they didn't see. That didn't work. You know what I'm saying? So it's, thousands of hours have been wasted on shit that nobody ever really watched.
I remember one time I saw you on stage with Nelly, when you were taking the photos of Nelly. I think that was you. Right?
Probably, yeah.
So how'd you go about getting all like how'd you even start like shooting for concerts? Like, where was like your first show? What's your first show that you shot?
Good question. I started shooting for concerts maybe 2016, 2015.
Oh, okay.
And it was, like I said, at the time, there was like nobody in Sioux City who was really doing what I was doing. Yeah,
exactly.
And my work just got noticed by a dude who worked at the radio stations. And again, like I'm just going to leave this pretty vague. I would, I want to give shout outs to all the people, but like I'd be forgetting some names. So these people know who they are and they made a big difference to my career. Right. But I was working at the news station at the time. So I had like a little bit of credibility just for my job that I was employed doing video full time, but it was the worst job ever. It was midnight to 8 a.m. up all night editing for $10 an hour, making no money, being poor and being tired all the time, right? And this is 2015. It's not like that was 2002. I was making $10 an hour. Now this was
actually
recent.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, and so I was making $10 an hour working overnight, hating my life, wanted to get out of it so bad. And what I was doing, I was listening to podcasts overnight. I was listening to Geri V's podcast, the Ask Geri V show.
Oh, okay.
And I'd bring a notebook with me to work every day. And I'd be listening to podcasts while I'm editing. And every once in a while, there'd be like, something that made me have an idea or something I could apply to my life and my business. Write it down. And I would just keep doing this every night. And then it like eventually progressed to the point where I started having a business idea. And the business idea was basically what Honeywave is now, but it was 5 years ago. And I'm writing this down and I'm creating a business plan. but it's also I'm making no money, so I have no money to save and reinvest into what I'm doing. I'm just like if I needed money for sometimes I would just pre-sell 2 or 3 jobs, make people give me deposits, and then I'd go buy the piece of equipment I need, then go shoot the music videos, collect on the money, right? So I do all this stuff, and a dude who worked at the radio stations like saw some. I want to say it was a fashion show that I shot for a girl in Sioux City who started like a clothing line boutique.
Damn.
He saw this video. He hit me up and was like, "Hey, would you be interested in shooting concerts at the Hard Rock?" And I was like, "Yup." So
like, oh yeah,
yeah. So
let me get in that.
And it was like I was working midnight to 8 a.m. So concerts start at 6, 7. So I'd get off work at 8 a.m. Try and go to sleep right afterwards. Be up by 5. Be at the concert by 6 or 7. Shoot the concert. Go to work. That kind of stuff. And I was like
hustle.
really grinding. Yeah, I was really grinding. And we were doing, and it was at the Hard Rock, so we do, 1 a week or whatever. But yeah, and then I like built that up enough, and then I got my business plan refined to a point where, the radio station, and we'd built a good enough relationship back and forth. Like I was, like I said, I was staying up all night editing all the shit for them, sending it back like the next day, all that. And eventually they said, I told them I had a business idea. I went in, I pitched the general manager and the guy who had hired me my business plan, and I got put on salary there like the next week.
Oh, damn.
Right. So that was ended up going from like working overnights to having a salary job doing like basically my business plan.
Yeah.
And then there was like a few other,
shit.
and it was like nothing to do with me at all, actually. Like the companies ended up like acquiring another company. I moved over there. There was a merger. So like 2 weeks after I got hired at the radio station to like build my business idea, I was at another business just like creating videos. So the business idea didn't go anywhere, but I kept it in the back of my mind. Eventually I left that other company after 2 years and built Honeywave. So it was kind of a long process, but I really didn't even like set out to shoot concerts. I always liked music. I was producing shows when I lived in Iowa City, just like how you're doing right now with this, throwing shows. So I kind of had some background in it, and I had enough of a background in it to know that artists don't have much money. So I was like never too determined to like make that my main thing is shooting concerts. I actually don't like shooting concerts that much now because I like going to concerts, and if I'm going, I want to just like go hang out and not be working for an hour or two. Sometimes I'll shoot if I'm really intrigued by what's going on, but usually I just want to go watch, especially local shows. I just want to hang out with like friends there. Usually
every time I'm going to a local show, they're like, "Oh shit, Nasty here," and they expect that camera to be out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I always have it on me. I guess when I go to a show, in my head, I'm just like, I need to document this night. I need to like photograph the night because in my head, just like even though the artist doesn't buy the photo or anything like that, it's cool to me to have a photo of a night that happened in history where it's like no one else has a photo of that night, It's like, so it's just like I always just have like it in my little fanny pack and shit,
Yeah.
And I don't know, I always try to sneak it in. I went to Hobo Johnson. They said no photography or anything like that. I think Brenton was actually the main photographer there. They like hired him.
Oh, was that down at like Stir Cove or something? Yeah.
I think it was at the waiting room, something like that.
The waiting room in Omaha?
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
my bad. Yeah.
So, and I was just like, I just had my camera under me. I was just like, all right, let's go. And like, that's usually how it be, even like Waka Flocka, I wasn't supposed to be backstage at all. Like I didn't have a pass or nothing,
I was on stage for that earlier in the day, and then I went and put my camera away because I just wanted to watch the rest of the concerts. Yeah.
Yeah. See, like I was sticking it out in the pit. I was like going in and out, and like I don't know. I told the lady, the security guard, I was like, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and take a piss. That's cool. Or I think I either told her I'm gonna go take a piss. Or I
saw you that day. I forgot about that. Yeah. I think that's when we met. Actually, is that in the park? Yeah, like or talked for the first time.
Yeah, we did talk for the first time then, huh?
Okay. Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. That was a cool ass night too. Like I met a lot of people that night too.
Yeah.
And I think like you even put me on game too with like just trying to like do this whole business. And I remember some advice you told me is like wear a suit, like to wear like your business like meetings, and like you'll look 10 times better than what you did.
Yeah.
And like I have kept that throughout my life, and like whenever I do go out to like present my portfolio to a business, I'll still get that no, but at the end of the day, like you see a guy with a tattoo on his face, but yeah, he's in a suit, you know, and like feel like he's presentable.
You get taken seriously.
Yeah,
you don't ever want to be the underdressed guy in a room, right? And there's this thing when you're in a creative job like us, you want to be. You're also selling like a cool factor, right? The businesses are hiring people that they think are cool so they can make them look cool on social media.
Yeah.
But you also got to be the guy that's not too cool that they never see the shit that they shot again, you know? So you're playing a fine line in the branding of everything you do. But,
And like, I don't, like, how the fuck am I supposed to know how to even like go about this business at all? You know, like there's nobody that really, like how you said, you're one of the first people out here. So it's like, what examples do you look at to do it the right way? And like, what is even the right way? So I guess I'm just trying to like maneuver my way through this whole like game and see if I can like make a future for myself and see if I can get away from the 9 to 5, because I've been you know, hustling my ass off for a fucking minute. Like how you said you go to work and then you go right to shooting the concert. You left out the whole part of editing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like it's like you really grinding as a photographer and like videographer. Like you shoot and everybody's like, yeah, you know, we celebrating right after. Like, nah. Like I'm gonna have to go back.
I'm going
and
to work.
edit.
Yeah,
because then if I don't, I'm not gonna go to sleep. Like
you know? I really left out a lot, obviously, in that story. But I went 2019. 2019 was the first year that I was financially comfortable.
Yeah,
and like had gotten my business to a place where I was like, my business is locked down. Right. I have my business figured out. 2019 was crazy. I finished the year with extra money in my bank account. I went and bought new cameras, new gear, all that kind of shit, right? 2 new computers, hired another employee on. Dude, I was going hard. Yeah, I hired my 3rd employee, and it was dope. Nice. And then 2020 came. And then everything went back fucking to zero. And I was like, God damn. And I almost went like, there was probably, through most of this year, I was like, should I keep doing this? Because I went from really grinding from 2014 to 2019, putting in all of the work that nobody else wanted to do. Yeah. So I was farther ahead at it than everybody else was. And I had money coming in. And then it went almost to zero over coronavirus. I lost all my contracts. I lost all my like big clients because they were shut down too. So like this year has been me the climb back, but it's still like I'm reevaluating. And you mentioned that you don't have like a role model or like somebody to tell you how to do everything you're supposed to be doing. Right. And that's because there straight up isn't. Right, you know what I mean? Exactly. And if there is, I haven't found them yet. So it's like figuring out the 10,000 ways not to do shit is the only way that's gonna it's gonna teach you how to do what you need to do. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm like, whenever someone talks bad about me, I'm like, oh fuck. I'm like, am I about to get canceled on this shit? You know, and everything's about to end from here on. Like, because I have seen a couple of creators out here get canceled, and like sometimes it's not even for like a reasonable thing. You know, sometimes it's just because somebody doesn't like somebody, or like I don't know. Yeah. But like the dirt, it gets your name a little muddy. You know. Yeah. So like. And the way that I'm trying to like pursue my career and like myself is just the fact of like, let me see the best way that I can support myself, but yet all the blessings I'm getting, I need to like figure out how to bless others with that same blessings, you know, because if there's not a figure, then when I'm making my way up, I want the younger homies, the younger OGs to like show me or to like see like what is the right way to go and what's not the right way to go, and like use me as a platform to see that like, okay, if he's doing it, then maybe I can too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I agree. And it's like, I've always tried to run things in the big bro manner, you know? Exactly. So there was almost no money in this when I started out. Like I was shooting videos for free for everybody. Like, cause people in Sioux City hadn't even thought about the idea of paying people with video cameras and photo cameras at this point. It was all just like people who wanted to try and figure out if they could make a business out of it for a month. They do a few free projects, never do it again. And I started out, and dude, like up until like 2019 probably, I was shooting music videos for people, and especially at homie pricing, shooting for $200 maybe, $300. But at a $200 music video, I'd have a dude doing behind the scenes photos. I'd pay him $20 an hour. I had another dude helping me run a second camera. I'd paying him $20 an hour. There was music videos where by the time I was all said and done, I made $20 to shoot, edit, distribute this music video. Just because like I was like everybody on the music video set who I was just bringing in as homies because like, oh, you told me you wanted to do videos. Come run a camera on my set. You told me you want to do photos. Come run a camera on my set. And I'm paying them because I want to get used to, or I wanted them to get used to, there's a culture like get paid for what you're doing.
Exactly.
Value what you're doing.
Yeah.
I'm going to pay you. Don't let somebody else not pay you.
Yep.
I'm doing a favor for you and I'm paying you. So don't ever let somebody not pay you because I just want to establish that culture of everybody's getting paid here. And so like, you know, and there's been pluses and minuses to that shit for sure. Like there's people that I paid to be at my music video sets, they then turned around and like told the artist like, I'll shoot a video for you for free.
Dude, come do tell me about it, man. Tell me about it. I try to take care of people the same way like you did. The same principle is like, if you're working for me, I'm paying you because, and why I'm paying you is because you're going to do what I say for this amount of time. And like, obviously not some like, you know, ghetto shit, but it's like, you're a worker for me, right? Like, like as like, people want to say that's so fucked up. People want to like think that's a fucked up thing to think.
Yeah.
But like, if I'm paying you, then I'm your boss.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I'm paying you good.
Yeah.
You know?
And like, and you're accepting to the terms of what you're getting paid. So it's not like we're on a disagreement here. So if I'm like trying to take care of you, then take care of me too. You know? And I guess that gets like misconstrued sometimes because people like to think that just because they're helping you or like if they're, I guess it's weird because there's a fine line because like if you're hiring somebody to be a second camera, is that your footage?
Yeah. I mean, and that's like the thing too.
And that's
is like
what's hard about
this
it.
is I'm shooting. This is my music video.
Yeah.
I'm editing this music video. I want you to be at this angle, and I need you to be shooting at this frame rate. I need you to be shooting in this color mode. You know,
I guess it's just hard out here because it's like a lot of people want to be their own entity. You know what I mean? Like just because everybody is starting out here, but like on Nasty Collective, like I definitely see it being like having a filmer, having a photographer, having everybody under this one brand where it's like we all come together to build what we are, you know?
Yeah.
But it is, I mean, that is a struggle to get to that point, but it's like I've had people that have went sideways on me because of some other extra shit, but like, yeah, you were paid and we had a good relationship, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, I try to take care of people, but sometimes like, even though I fail to like see the same way your perspective is seen, doesn't make me a terrible person. You know, it's like, we're all growing in this world. We're all learning this new game that hasn't been laid out anywhere. So it's like, how do you expect one thing when we're all trying to see how to maneuver, you know?
Yep.
We're all trying to see this whole chess game, you know, what the next play is. And I guess this whole time and like in my whole business, it's just like, I'm trying to connect to the local artists. There's like one artist, I'm like, hey man, I'm gonna unfollow you, stop posting because I'm not trying to follow no dead account. Like I need to see you grinding. I need to see you posting your music because you don't suck. So the fact that you have this talent and you're just sitting on it and you're just like, fuck it, I'm gonna go work. Like, nah, man, like put the time in for your boss, but then realize that you need to put the time in for yourself too and grind your ass off on this music shit, you know? Because you're losing your potential.
A lot of people, when I quote them a price for a project or whatever, they might say, oh, you know, especially like the business pricing that I give out. They might say, bro, you're making $225 an hour on that, you know, and it's like, no, I'm not. I mean, yeah, I am on this project, but there's 10,000 hours for free that I put in perfecting this craft. If you think you can put in that and then do it cheaper and do it yourself, go ahead and do that.
Equipment.
Yeah.
You got to set it up. You got to start thinking about times. You got to start thinking about who's going to be there, what kind of shots you're going to shoot. You know, there's a lot of before and after. That's the fuck part, the before and after part. The shooting the part is probably like the easiest of like what filming is, you know? Like shooting the actual film is probably the easiest part.
Oh yeah.
Editing and like the before thought, that's where it's like critical as fuck. So it's like a lot of brain power that's going into this and like a lot of talent, you know?
When I'm actually on set, that's chilling. That's not
exactly. I feel that same way.
I feel like I can kind of turn my mind off more or less on set because it's like I've done this so many times that it's nothing. I don't make I don't make the rookie mistakes anymore. I don't leave my camera in the wrong frame rate or the wrong ISO. None of that shit. Everything's done right every time. I can trust myself to do that. But what I'm getting at with the hourly thing too, and the big picture is like, it's the poorest mindset to think about money in terms of hours.
Yeah.
Because at that point you have a finite resource, which is time, and you're trying to allocate that time into a dollar amount. That's inherently limiting, because whether it's the amount of hours you have left in your life, whether it's the amount of hours you have left in a day or before you retire, whatever the case may be, it's finite. But if you were building something and you're being paid off of the value and the skill of, or the value of your skill, that's exponential. That's unlimited money. That's whatever that value is worth to customers in the marketplace.
Right.
So, when you're talking about maybe artists who are not working on their music at all or not working on their craft at all, and they're going to work because they got bills to pay. I get that. But like, they don't realize how much potential money they're leaving off the table by not doing the thing that they have ownership of, and they can then monetize the value of. And, when you're talking about paying people or having employees who you would like to keep underneath you or not underneath you in terms of like
but on the team.
Pushing anybody down, but on the team, on the collective, right? And I've worked with, and I've done the same thing here. I've had probably 5-6 employees pass through here and go on to do other things. The fact of the matter is that, like, number one, we're in Sioux City, and staying here, it is a small pond, so like there can't be too many big fish here. So if people want to go move out, do their own thing, or like just do their own thing in general, that's cool, whatever. But like, the fact at the end of the day, there's number ones and number twos, and this is not number ones and number twos in terms of like ranking who's better, but number ones in terms of like business leaders, the people who have the ambition and the vision to run a whole collective by themselves. And there's number twos, the people who would like to get a paycheck for showing up to execute on somebody else's vision. You know what I'm saying? And so like, sometimes you're going to have somebody underneath you who is a number one, who is just gaining the experience and the wisdom to be a number one on their own. They're going to go do that. And you can't be upset about that at all. You have to just wish them well and go, all right, I hope the best for you. And that's, I started this business with another number one who ended up moving to another city and is doing good things. And I like nothing but happiness for him. And then there's number twos who are like, they want to be on your team. They want to stay underneath you. You know what I mean? And those are the people that you gotta keep. You can't be upset or like even wish that people who don't want to be there want to leave. It's like, you just got to be like, all right, because that at the end of the day, the people who want to leave and aren't leaving, those are the worst people for your team. Those are the people who are gonna snake you in public. They're gonna be talking shit behind your back. They're gonna be telling everybody else things. They're gonna be blowing everything out of proportion and like ruining your name while you're paying them. So
the ones and twos, man, that makes so much fucking sense, bro. I'm telling you, like, that's exactly how the fuck you need to describe it, and like that's exactly what people are nowadays. And it's just like, fuck, Yeah, that's how it be out here. But there's nothing wrong with, like, even in my culture, like there's a lot of people in my culture that what I'm doing is out of the fucking like ordinary, it's like, that's extraordinary shit. Yep. A lot of people don't look like me, but there's a lot of like pride in going to work, coming home, being with your family, going to sleep, going to work, coming home. There's a lot of pride in that. Yep. And that's why I don't ever knock that. It's just how you said, there is those one and twos, like the people who do like strive for bigger dreams, people who do have them bigger dreams,
Yeah. And once you figure out that, money and value becomes exponential on the business ownership side, and not necessarily like you own an LLC or, you're operating an actual brick and mortar business, but just in terms of like, you have a skill or a craft that you have ownership of, that you set the prices, that you set the market for. That's inherently going to make you so much more money theoretically than working for somebody hourly.
The biggest downfall of the culture that I surround myself around, and the culture that brings up my upbringings, is financial literacy. That's the biggest fucking issue we have, is we don't know how to save money, we don't know how to get money, and like we don't know how to invest the money that like we have,
Yep.
That's like the biggest issue, and why like they're struggling so much on paying their rent, and the reason why like there's so much of there's such a big part of the population that can't afford a $400 bill today.
Over half of Americans can't afford a $500 emergency, is the stat that I've heard.
Fuck,
but
man, which is fuck.
Yeah, because I mean, shit, I've been I've been there. I mean, I've been able to not afford a $500 emergency in my adult life, but there's ways to get out of it. And that's the thing that kind of bugs me, is just like the defeatism or like the nihilism of people who have that mindset. They think that the world has done X, Y, and Z to them, which it has. But there is also like a personal power to overcome everything that the world can throw at you.
You can't let that hold you down. You can't let that hold you down, because if you do, then you know, you're not a statistic.
To be a victim of your circumstance is just
exactly.
It's
every day. Hustle every day.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So, and I'm sorry, I got you like way away from the concert here. So, like, I guess
perfect. Wrap it up on.
I just want to like make sure that we know what the details are. It's on the 18th, right?
So December 18th at 8:30 p.m. Whiskey Dicks. We're gonna be out there partying. Let It Snow by NastyCo. We got Jose the MC. We got Geri Dobbs, Young Rambo. We got Self. We got Sino Bankin. We got Johnny Marz, and headliners New Age Crisis. It's gonna be lit as fuck, you know. And also wear an ugly sweater, because we have an ugly sweater $50 contest. So the first prize gets $50. You know, we're just trying to, you know, do it up for our city and show some love to the artists themselves. And, you know, I really appreciate everybody rocking with me, because a lot of the people on the lineup, they're like, usually this isn't my prize, but I see your hustle and I see the drive. So we're gonna do this for you, you know. Yeah. So that love that I'm getting, and like I'm just trying to send it back their way and like get the crowd there. So doing promotions like this and like spreading the word about it, I'm happy to do, you know. I
got a couple of small questions here, and then we'll let everybody go. But what made you want to promote a concert?
I watch my people around me. I'm like very into music, and people like Daniel. I don't even want to say your last name because I'm gonna butcher it. But Akuni, something like that.
Aquino. Yeah.
My bad. Daniel Aquino.
4-1 you're talking about, right?
Sure. Yeah, definitely legend, man. And like
the young bull. And when you figure out how old he is, it makes him even more legendary.
Like when I see him and making his moves, I'm like, okay, I can do that. You know? And I've seen shows fail like miserably. Yep. And I've been at those shows, and I'm like, oh, if they only did this or only did this, it would have made it so much better. And like, I'm like, man, all these motherfuckers over here doing shows and everything, and they're failing. And these are some grown men doing some shows, you know? So why not give the kid a try, you know? Yeah. Let me see what I can do. And if it fails, then I put my money into it. Everybody's paid at the end of the day, and the only person suffering from that is me. And either way, I'm dedicating the party to my girl's cousin, Natalie, REUP, and we're going to dedicate tonight to her. So even if nobody shows up, we're still going to party. Whoever's there, we're still partying. You know what I mean? Okay. Yeah. So if you want to come out, get lit, $15 for the ticket. But, you know, ain't no L's on this, you know? It's going to be a party, man. It's a party.
I'll co-sign. I've worked with Rambo and Johnny Marz in the past. Both solid. And Sino's solid, too. Geri Dobbs is dope as shit. Self's dope.
Also, man, straight up, I appreciate you having me even on here, you know, like giving me even a voice to say anything. So like big ass shout out to Honeywave Media for doing your thing, being one of the OGs out here, and like definitely again paving that way for like us young creators out here, you know what I mean? Word. So definitely respect to that.
Yeah, it's just great to see Sioux City like growing more and more talent. That's been the goal since day one, is just see more dope shit come out of Sioux City. See more artists get their due. Yeah, so all right, well.
All right, man.
Damn. Until next time.
Real, bro.
The Sioux City Show. Thanks.